Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shamika and I do embroidery, sublimation, sewing, and more. I do a little bit of everything. And in today's tutorial, I am going to be doing some embroidery, but to help everybody out in embroidery land, I've noticed in a lot of groups where a lot of people ask for assistance and tutorials on the PE800. I have a PE800. I also have a Janome 500E, and I have a Happy 12 needle embroidery machine. A lot of people are not getting their questions answered, or they really just need assistance. So since I have an order that I need to do, I'm going to try to do a quick video using all three of my machines. So this is going to be interesting. It's kind of late here. It's been a long day. I had a long day at work. After work, I had cheer practice. I'm a volunteer coach, and my daughter also cheers. And now it is time to try to get a couple orders knocked out before I get ready to work on administrative duties and go to bed. So I will be embroidering a gown, bib, and burp cloth set. I've already used embroidery to create my design, and I'm getting ready to save it to my USB. So there's my design and embroidery. There's my USB and my laptop. So I'm going to go ahead and get that saved. If you are using a PE800, you do need to save your files in a PES format. That is the format that is used for the PE800, and from my understanding, that is the format that is used for most see if this light is better. Oh, might be too bright. That is the format that is used for the PE800, and that is the format that is used for most brother machines. So I am going to go ahead and save my file. When I am doing files in embroidery, I like to save them two ways. The first way is I like to save the working file as. By utilizing save working file as, you're able to go in and make edits to that file and not have to recreate the whole thing. So say for example, if you're doing a unicorn shirt with a name, you can go create that file, download your image, and upload it into embroidery, and then click File, Save Working File As, and then name it. And then the next time you get an order, you can just open that file. It saves it in a .be format, make whatever changes you need to make, and then you will resave that file as a stitch file to your USB. So that is currently what I'm doing. This child's name is Kamaya. And so I'm going to go ahead and save that as a working file, which is .be. I saved the majority of the designs that I put together. I saved those in OneDrive, which is a cloud application. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so thirsty. So that way, if for whatever reason my computer crashes, I have the majority of my designs saved in the cloud. Even like when I download my designs, I typically move it over to the cloud. So that way I don't have to worry about it anymore. Must be a ghost in here because that just fell on its own. So I went ahead and saved my working file to the cloud. And now I'm going to go ahead and save my stitch file to my USB. And you need to make sure that the save as type is the correct file type. So like I stated again, this file type is PES because I am saving it for my PE800. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and move over to the PE800, and we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm back, and please excuse the mess. It's been a lot going on the last couple of days with orders, but my goal is to just kind of get content out to you guys. I'm not going to try to clean my room up and then try to record a video. On this channel, we're going to be real, and this is as real as it gets. Most crafters have messy rooms. We try to find time to clean, but sometimes there comes a time where you have to choose. You're either going to put out orders or you're going to clean. And there are times where I will, if I'm about to do sewing, I will clean up my sewing area before I get started so I can start off with a clean slate. So where I have the camera pointed at now is my work area. This is my cutting table. As you can see, I got this cutting table from Joann's, and then I found the mat to the cutting table on Amazon. This mat goes to 60 inches. So I love it. Love the cutting mat. When I first got in and I got into my room, because we recently moved into this house, I only had it halfway open so I can still move around. But lately I've been doing a lot of sewing and sewing a lot of tutus, so it's kind of just been left out all the way. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and prep my garments to get ready for this order. And I typically float my items when I am stitching, especially on my PE 800 and on my Janome. And I'm going to be using my 5x7 hoop. It's a little cruddy, but it gets the job done. It's been a really long time since I stitched on my PE 800. When I say a really long time, it's been some months. So it is going to be really interesting to see how this goes. But I'm going to give you the nitty gritty, even the bad. So for my bib, I'm going to be using tearaway stabilizer, and I purchased this from Amazon on the roll. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my stabilizer. And I'm going to go ahead and hoop that. So I got the stabilizer in. I'm just trying to get it to where I have a little bit of end on both sides. You guys, I haven't stitched on this in so long that just looking at this hoop, I'm like, oh my God, this is so small. Because it's just not what I've been stitching on lately. So my hoop is a little loose. And sometimes when it's like that, you just need to tighten it a little bit so that way you can get your stabilizer and everything in. And I could have cut my stabilizer a little wider. And I do think I also have some sheets that's pre-cut. You can get sheets of stabilizer that's pre-cut. But I can't remember if I had some, if I'm out. I had some that I ordered and I just really didn't like them. When I tell you that you can easily punch a hole in, I was having to double it up just to stitch because my presser foot would get caught in the stabilizer, and then I would have a hole, and then it would just be a whole mess. So I ordered this, and it's been working pretty good. So we're just going to go ahead and tighten. Make sure everything is nice and taut. Want to make sure that we get that drum sound, which we did, and my stabilizer looks really good. I'm just going to pull it a little bit more on the sides to make sure we don't have no bubbles, and try to tighten it a little more, and voila. Now I still do use my grid to mark the center of my hoop, and so I'm going to go ahead and put my grid in. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm going to go ahead and put my grid in my hoop so I can get my center marked. Let's see. And you just line the grid up with the little notches, like so, like that. And I'm going to go ahead and mark my grid whenever I find my pen. So there's dots on the grid, and I'm just gonna fill in these dots to help me find the center of my hoop. Now, some people will then, after they mark the dots or the circles, shall I say, fill in the circles on the hoop, which it now looks like this. They will go in and then take a ruler and mark the lines. I don't do that. I just feel like it's an added step, so I don't do that step. Next, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on my heat press, so my heat press can get warm, and I'm gonna fold my bib down the center, find the center, and mark it. Now, if you don't want to turn on your, if you don't want to iron or you don't want to turn on your heat press to find the center of your bib, you don't have to. It's mainly just preference. Now, while I'm waiting on my heat press to get done, I just thought about something. When I made that design, I was really thinking about the gown that I made. So what I'm gonna do, sorry, I stepped out of frame for a second. What I'm gonna do, there's my measuring tape. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna measure my gown to make sure that my design is gonna fit. Yeah, and it should fit just fine. So we're waiting on the heat press to heat up a little bit so I can press my bib and find the center. And I can also go ahead and press my burp cloth and find the center. So while we're waiting on that to kind of get heated up, I'm going to go ahead and take you over to the PE800. We're going to go ahead and get it turned on, and I'll give you a quick walkthrough, and then we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm just going to turn my tripod and try to make it not fall. Yay. It's kind of steady. Yay. Okay, so this is my PE800. It's kind of in a corner. I normally don't have it angled the way that it is, but I have it angled that way today because we're going to use it, but I haven't really been using this machine. And I really have been trying to decide if I'm going to sell it or if I'm going to keep it. But I have used it for smaller items because of the 4x4 hoop that it comes with. And on my Genomic 500E, I don't have a 4x4 hoop. So that was the reason why I kind of kept it around so long. But I do have a 5x5 mighty hoop that I can use on my 12 needle. So this is my baby. This is what I first started with. So I kind of have an attachment to it. So it's kind of hard to let go. But we'll see how that goes. So to kind of just give you a quick overview of the PE800, of course, it has a top so that you can protect your machine. This is the lid that we open. Here is the thread. We have on the right hand side the knob that helps you move the needle up and down, and it comes with an LCD screen. You will upload your designs to this machine by using a USB port or a USB cord. A lot of users recommend using a USB cord, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of designs on this machine because you don't want to wear out the USB port. I've heard that a lot of people have done that. I haven't had that as an issue. Even prior to me getting my other machines, I've been using my USB. So, there's a lot of things that you can actually see in the manual. It's talking about the different parts of the machine and what it's called. I had previously done a video on that, but lost it. So, if you want me to re-record that video, I can. But if not, I'm just going to kind of just give you a quick brief overview. That light is really like bright depending on where I stand. So we're going to go ahead and turn the machine on. And it takes a second to power up, typically. Did I unplug it? Oh, there it is. So, my cord wasn't in all the way on the side. I'm like, I know it was just on a minute ago. I turned it on. So, when you turn on your machine, right here on the LCD screen, it automatically has like an advertisement. It's really not an advertisement, but it's just designs that they're showing that people have done on the PE800, and it says brother, and you can see that. And the arrow is red. So what that means is it's in a stop position right now. We're not stitching. So I'm going to go ahead and tap my screen. And when I tap my screen, it says the carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Keep your hands, etc., away from the carriage. So I'm going to click OK. And as you see, the arm moves on the machine, and then it moves it back into the start position. We are still at the stop position. The arrow is red on the machine. Okay? Now, my bobbin in this machine is already threaded, but for this video, I'm going to take it out. So I purchased my bobbins pre-wound off of Amazon. You can wind your own if you want. I don't. Every minute is precious to me. So, this is my pre-wound bobbin. And I'm just going to go over really quickly how to put your bobbin in your machine. When you put your bobbin in the machine, you want to make sure that you see a P facing you. So this is a P facing me. If I look at it from this direction, it looks like a Q probably to you. So it would look like this to you. The shape of the letter P. P for perfect sewing. So this is the way you want to put your bobbin in your machine, right? So I'm going to drop my bobbin in. Now, when you drop your bobbin in, I'm going to try to bring you guys in closer. I don't think I'm going to be able to hold my phone. So let's see if I can. Bring you over here where you can see. I'm trying to get the tripod to stand up, guys. Okay, so once I have my bobbin in, I take my right index finger and I hold my bobbin down. I take my left finger and thumb and I guide the thread through the guide for the bobbin. So there's like a little snip here. You will bring that down. Bring your bobbin thread down. There's arrows for you to follow. You will go up and I will let it spin on its own. Bring it around the curve and down, and then there's a small blade there, and you just clip the rest of the bobbin off. And so that is how you would thread your bobbin. And now I'm just going to put the bobbin, the lid for the bobbin case back on top. Okay? So we have threaded our bobbin for the PE800. Now, the heat press is heated pretty well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fold my bib in half. I'm trying to position you guys where you can see. Don't mind my room. I'm going to go ahead and fold my bib in half, and I'm going to go ahead and press that on my PE800. Excuse me, press that on the PE800. Press that on the heat press. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm tired. So I'm only going to press it for a few seconds, and of course we're going to cover it with a Teflon sheet. But I'm only going to press it for a few seconds just to get that center mark. Okay? So I'm going to press it about 10 seconds or so. And now we have a pressed bib. So next what I'm going to do is, while my heat press is on, I'm going to go ahead and press my burp cloth. Hi, lady. What can I do for you?
You didn't do that video, or I didn't do the video with you. But I'm not doing the dress up. I just doing the potato.
You want to say hi to the people in YouTube land?
Yeah. Hi.
Tell them what your name is.
My name is Aria and Muffin and Aria Hankins.
Good job. Now, Muffin, what do you want to tell the people? Don't forget to what?
Subscribe from the video.
Don't forget to subscribe for the video. Good job. Give mommy a kiss. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Close my door, please.
Okay, I don't want to get in your video.
Okay, thank you. So now I'm gonna go ahead and press my burp cloth as well, so I can get the middle. And I have the tag facing me because I'm gonna use that as the bottom of my that's gonna be considered as the bottom for me, because I don't plan on stitching on that end, so I'm gonna use that as the bottom. So I press both of my garments. Remember, we've already hooped our stabilizer on our PE 800 hoop, and what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and spray my hoop. Now, some people take the steering wheel covers from the Dollar Tree and they cover their hoops with that, so that way their hoops don't get gunked up. It was too late for me. I had already started using the spray, so I haven't done that. And this hoop is not that dirty, so I think I had like cleaned this one a while back, and I just haven't been to the Dollar Tree, and when I go I never remember to get those. So again, like I was stating before, we're going to do what's called the floating method, and I am using this 505 spray. There is spray adhesive, the Heat and Bond spray adhesive that you can get from Walmart, and that's what I started out using. But I was told that that spray it says it won't gum up your needles, but I have been told that it will gum up your needles. So I switched over to the 505. The 505 is a little bit more expensive, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and spray my hoop. Okay. And then I'm going to take my bib. This is the center mark. That's why we pressed it. And line the center of this bib alongside the line that we marked on the grid when we did the lines. Now, keep in mind, when you are getting ready to float, you need to think about how your design is going on the hoop. So you need to think about where these little hooks are. I don't know what to call it. I'm just gonna call it little hooks. Because if you put your item on upside down, then you're gonna have to take it off and respray it and all that. So this is the way it's gonna be going on the machine. And I wish I can get you guys in closer, but I don't think I have anything I can really prop you up on. And I just realized my light is facing the other way. Let me turn you. Hopefully that is good. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get you any closer because this is plugged up. So I'm going to now line my bib up with the lines or the marks on the grid. And I'm just going to press that in, and then we're going to open it up. And so when you open it, your center line should be like on those dots. So that is how you want it. You want to also make sure your tag is sticking out, because if your tag is not sticking out, you're going to stitch your tag down. So now this is what it looks like. So my bib is not going to move. And as you see, this is my third dot, and I don't know if you can really see my line. It's like right in line with the dot, which is right in line with those grooves. And I just dropped it. Okay, so before we go back to the PE800, I'm going to now load my design so I can see what color is going to be first. So that way I know what color to put on my machine, okay? I'm trying to think where I want to sit you guys. My sewing table is full, so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get the content out there to you guys. Oh, look at that nice overhead shot, huh? And I can probably, I think there's a way to bring this down. I don't really want to mess with it because I might mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to take my USB. My USB port is on the side of the machine where the power button is, and I'm going to plug that in. And maybe I shouldn't have you there because you can't see my screen. So let me move you again. I'm trying to figure out a good spot to sit my tripod without it falling, because I'm recording from my phone and I just really can't find a good spot. Oh my gosh. And I really can't get in this corner either. And of course everything wants to, my light don't want to set up right and everything, guys. I'm so sorry. It's like all tangled. Okay. I'm gonna get me something that works by batteries because I can't with these cords. I just cannot. Okay. I wish I could zoom in. So what I'm gonna do is, baby, I hold my phone with one hand and try to do it. And we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Maybe I should have just pulled my machine out. Maybe I should have just did that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my chair to sit in. So that way I can kind of show you guys. I'm gonna try to show you anyway. So this is the screen, okay? And once you put your USB port in, what you want to do is hit, trying to get the angle where you can see. There we go. That's better. So what you want to do is hit the USB port on the screen. And what it's then is going to do is going to bring up the designs that you have on the USB. So I'm going to click my design that I created. And it's going to highlight the hoops up here. And so it has it highlighted right now for the 5x7 hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and click set. And as you see, my design is like turned. What happened? It's not allowing me because of how the design is created. It wants me to stitch it out the long way. And so this is what happens when you design and you used to using a bigger hoop and you have these smaller machines and you can't use a bigger hoop. So unfortunately, what that means for me is I'm gonna have to re-hoop my bib. And when you're designing, or shall I say when you're hooping, you want to make sure you have your the excess of your fabric to the right side on the PE 800. So we don't want it where it's gonna bump up or get caught up in this arm. So I'm gonna put the top of my bib actually up this way, and which means I will need to have my design facing that way. Okay, so because it is not going to allow me, is that loose? Is that why it's acting like that? Look like it. So since it's not going to allow me to stitch my design the way I created it, I'm going to turn my bib the other way. So again, we're going back to square one. Going back to square one. Just going to sit you up on my chair. I'm just hitting all kinds of buttons tonight. And it's storming outside. Okay, so I'm going to come back to my workstation and I'm going to rehoop my design. So I'm looking at the PE 800, so I make sure that I'm hooping it the right way. I know that that it's going to be, this side is what's going to be going on the machine. So now I'm going to rehoop. So I'm going to fold my bib back. So I have the center. I'm going to respray my hoop again. And I'm going to realign it alongside the hoop. So right on those dots. Now also keep in mind that you know, if you don't want it to come all the way up, feel free to go a little bit over. So I'm going to reopen it. And I am in line with these grooves, because you can also use that to kind of help you find this. I don't know how much of my content has been lost. I'm going to be so mad if a lot of it was lost. My ring light and stand comes with this remote where I can start and stop my camera, and I just realized that the button has been like tapping on this stuff and automatically stopping the recording of my videos. So if this piece is missing, I apologize in advance. So anyway, I just lined my bib up on the hoop. It is nice and smooth. There's no wrinkles in there. And now we're going to go back to the machine and we're going to try to stitch it out. Okay? So I am moving you all back over here to the machine. That's really not the best angle, but we'll fix that in a second. I could have really put you up here where my serger is if I would move it. It probably would be better. And that way we can get a better overhead view. not as good as I would want it, but at least it's overhead. So now I'm getting ready to put my bib on the hoop. And like I said, we want the access away from the arm. You want to lift the presser foot up, slide your hoop on, and then you just line up the notches with the little metal buttons, and you should hear it snap. All right, you heard that snap? So I know that it's nice and secured. Now I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And here we can move the design to kind of see where it's going to stitch. So I don't want it too far down to the bottom. And I used to have a sticky note that would tell me exactly where I wanted to place my design. But I don't know where that is right now. I told you guys it's been a long time, so you getting all the goof ups. And it's been a while, so I'm trying to remember how do I trace on here. Because on the industrial machines, you do a lot of tracing. Let's see. So that's just showing me. I wanted to say it was on this screen. Well, on this screen, there's a move button. So we can move, right now it's in the center. So you can use the move button to move your design up or down. Or the center button lets you put it back in the center. I'm pretty sure you guys cannot see that. Okay, I just decided I'm just gonna hold my phone. So I click the move button, and with these options here, we can move the design, center, left, right, or whatever, and click OK. Now, you can rotate it, move it like I was stating, size it. So this is exactly where we were a minute ago. I do believe this is the split button. And so I'm going to go ahead and click in edit. It is like thundering out here. And, oh, there it is. This is our trace button. So if we hit this button, this is going to actually show us where the design is going to stitch. So I'm going to hit trace. And I'm going to click OK over here. Let's see. Let me hit that again. And it's showing us where the design will actually be stitched. So then from there you can decide if you want to move it up. So kind of again what I did was I came over here. Let's go back so you can see what I did. And this is the back button. Oh, it doesn't want me to hit the back button. So we're going to hit OK. Let's hit back again. So from this screen, you hit in edit, and then this is your trace button. And if you hit the trace button again, it will show you the frame where the design is going to stitch. It'll also show you the markings on the screen. So if I wanted to move this design down some, I can move it down a little bit. Now they do tell you to trace like 2-3 times, especially with industrial machines, to trace a few times before you stitch, because you don't want to hit your needle to hit the hoop. I am going to trace again because I want to see if I'm going to have it up too high. And no, I don't think I'm going to have it up too high. So I'm perfectly fine with the way that looks on the machine. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then we're going to click embroidery. Now, when you click embroidery, it's going to show you how many stitches this design is, how long it's going to take, and how long for each thread color. So, and the number of stitches for each thread color. So we're going to start out with the gray. And what I'm going to do next is go ahead and get the gray and the pink, and then I'll be back to thread the machine. Okay, I got you back on the tripod, so we're going to try this. So the first color we're going to be using that I showed you on the screen is the gray. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the spool cap and this yellow thread. Now, people will tell you when you take your thread off, you should cut it and pull it all the way through your machine, because pulling it from this way, if you're trying to save thread, can cause like the lint to come off the thread or fibers, and it can like clog up your machine. So you should always pull it all the way through. So we did that, and now we're going to thread it, and I'm just going to put it back on the stick for the needle and add the spool cap, and then hopefully you guys can see this. I take my thread and I hold it with 2 fingers. So my right hand is holding the back end, and my left hand is holding the front end. We're going to go down in 1, up 2, around, and down, up 3, and I still kind of hold my thread. You're going to go up to the top for 4, pull it over to the left because it has to hook onto that needle bar. Down 5, there's like a little, almost like a little paper clip guide right there at 6. You slide it in there. So my left hand is still holding the thread, but my right hand, you guys cannot see any of this. Let me see if I can get you where you can see. Oh, God. Now my tripod is too low. Hopefully that's good. I hope. Oh, I got to work on this camera system. Okay, so my left hand is holding the thread. My right hand, I'm using my thumb to kind of pull my thread in notch 6. You slide it up in between this tooth right here. Go up, bring it around 7, and then we're going to cut it on the side for 8. Now, if your needle threader works, put your presser foot down, and then you just push this down, and it will thread your machine. Okay, my needle threader is working tonight. It wasn't working for a long time. Okay, now we have threaded the machine, and now that the presser foot is down, you will see that the button is on green for go. I'm going to go ahead and press the arrow, which is now green for go, and it's going to go ahead and it's going to start with the first part of the stitches. Looking for a machine to get into, the PE800 or the PE770, they're both good machines to use as starter machines. The can tell you sitting here and watching this stitch out, I'm just thinking, wow, I haven't stitched on this machine in so long, and it is really slow compared to my 12 needle. But as you see, it's definitely getting the job done. So the first part of the bib has been completed. It's done stitching the gray. I'm gonna go ahead and cut and pull this thread out, and I'm going to charge my phone up. I'm gonna put my phone on the charger, and then I'm gonna show you guys again how I thread my machine, because we're gonna be threading the second color. Oh my god, I just stepped on the power button, y'all. Oh my god. Hopefully it remembers where I was. I think the PE800s have like the memory thing. I don't remember. I stepped on the power button, so hopefully my machine remembers where I was. It's asking me to raise the presser foot. And then it says, okay, to recall and resume previous memory. And I'm going to say, okay. So, yay, it's taking us back to where we left off. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut my thread. And we're going to pull it through the bottom. I'm going to take off the spool cap and thread. And I'm going to go in and thread with the pink. And I hope that you guys can see this, because I can't see what I'm doing. I got to figure out another way to do these videos. So, the first color that I used came from Smith Thread. The second color I'm using comes from Madeira. So, again, I'm taking my index finger, or my birdie finger is what I like to call it, and I'm holding down the back part of the thread so I can weave through the thread. And you just want to follow the arrows. Just follow the arrows, guys. The arrows will tell you where to go to thread your machine. Going back through 6, around to 7. Come on this way so you guys can see. Clip on 8. Put my presser foot down and thread. And I'm just going to pull that out and hang the tail out the back. And we're going to go ahead and click go again. And it's going to start stitching the name. And sometimes there's a little tail. So as you see here, there's a little tail. I can hit this button right here. This is for the needle position. It'll raise the needle up. And I'm going to raise my presser foot up so I can just cut that small piece off. Because sometimes when you're trying to do your satin stitches, it'll like be in the way. So I'm just going to cut that. Take my finger and brush it out the way. Put my presser foot back down and hit go again. Okay, so I've been fighting with my tripod, but in a nutshell, it is done. Finished embroidering. So I'm going to just go ahead and click OK. And it just brings you right back to the design. So if I wanted to stitch it again, I can easily stitch it again. I would just rehoop and put my next garment on the machine. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off. So to properly take it off, you want to make sure you push this tab, and then, well, before you push that tab, you want to lift your presser foot, okay? And I kind of just wipe my thread out of the way, and then you want to press this tab and pop your presser foot up. Pop your hoop up and kind of just slide it out. Now, this is a PE 800, so as you see here, all of my jump stitches are in place, but it's stitched out beautifully. Look at that. It is so cute. It's stitched out just how I wanted it to stitch out. So I'm going to go ahead and clip my jump stitches, and then I will take this tearaway stabilizer. I can't talk. I'll go ahead and tear off the tearaway stabilizer on the back of the bib, and then I'll show you what the back looks like.